Edochie. Edochie. Remember back then when Mary had requested for a soft, easy dissolution, divorce, without too much social media sensationalism and all of that. Edochie had refused. Brother, he came out and he constantly talked about how beautiful polygamy should be and is and will be in his life. In fact, he called himself a proud polygamist. I wondered back then, is this the approach? Is this the best approach? Is this how things are to be done? I mean, if you are to convince a woman, and don't forget that back then, Edochie was trying to push, press. He wants to be domineering. He wasn't subtle at all. He wanted to show to Mary that he's the Odogu, like, I am a man. He wanted to come to his house, former house now, anyhow, anytime he likes. And he wasn't just coming and sitting down like a dog that has done something wrong. He wasn't moving around with his tail between his legs. He wasn't acting that way. Edochie was acting like, like, I am the Odogu, I am the Almighty, I am the beginning, I am the end. He wanted to even kind of start dragging Mary to himself, like, come close here, I am still the king. Mary knew the consequences of that. In fact, if you are subscribed to this channel and you got the update, I broke it down, the analysis from the beginning to the end, that if Mary had made a mistake, if Mary had allowed Edochie access to her body during that period, in fact, at the beginning, when she got to hear that Edochie is into some extra classes, that Edochie was teaching someone else lesson, it would have been difficult. Edochie would have used that in court. He would have said, Mary, she condoned it, she accepted it. In fact, we continued as husband, and wife. So I am kind of wondering why she just woke up and decided now that our marriage should be dissolved. Mary saw the aggressiveness of Edochie, lack of tact. It was too brutal. It was so violent. She had to petition Edochie. Immediately, Edochie was told to desist, refrain, or else you end up in ground zero. That's when Edochie realized that this is a serious matter. Rather than him looking inwards and trying to kind of find out, what have I done wrong? How did I go about this thing? I think I made mistakes. This is not what to do. This is not how to go about it. Rather than him sitting down to do all of those planning and looking for a softer, like, okay, I think now I've messed up. Let me use this and that to approach Mary, or let me assess her this way. No, he did not. He went out screaming, ranting, talking like a crazy person, telling us how polygamy is a beautiful thing, how successful Mary has become, how Judy Austin is also going to be successful, how both of them are going to rise and he's going to sit down at the center of two successful women. He's also going to be the governor of Anambra State. He started talking like a crazy man. I said, what kind of rubbish is this? Man, deal with this thing before it becomes... Well, Edochie did not. He kept on and on. Now, in court, when Edochie realized that this is going to be a battle, he tried several things, such as putting certain things inside of his mouth. So when he goes to the court and speaks, Mary will now, the mediation he thought Mary will bow, or Mary will be deceived, or the spell will work on Mary. None of those things worked. Not until the demise of their son became something else. It became something else. Edochie became something else. It became something else. He kept on ranting, he kept on misbehaving. He didn't even, the demise of their son was not even enough for him to reflect. Rather, he ran with the story of Mary tried to attack Judy Austin and their new baby and himself, and then the attack fell on Kambilichukwu. So the battle started. If you don't want marriage, okay. If you don't want polygamy, okay. Let everybody go their separate ways, isn't it? That's what it is supposed to be. So Edochie is saying, oh, I want that property. I want that property. I want that property. Or we divide it or we sell. Edochie said he's unwilling and he's not ready to lose. He said, I am not ready to lose. I am not ready to lose. I'm not ready to lose any of my property. I am not ready to lose any of my property. He said it is better we share, better that we sell, better that we... And I know a lot of people have talked about the proportion, the amount each of them put into building whatever they built. I know we've talked about it several times without number. We've talked about it. But, as husband and wife, they don't look at how much you put into. It doesn't work that way, like, oh, I put in more money than my wife or my husband. It doesn't work that way. The law is the law. But in the part of Edochie, his own situation, he has to provide accommodation for his children. That is why the issue of 100 million naira lawsuit came into it, which Edochie cannot pay. Somehow, they are going to wager, that is what I'm thinking, that house to that 100 million. If you cannot pay 100 million, then that house, you cannot lay claim to it in any way. Don't talk about selling, because normally that's what it is. When marriages break apart, let us say they have just that house will be sold, money will be shared. That's how it works. House will be sold, money will be shared, house will be divided. Simple as ABC. It's not as if, it's the man that brought 80%, it's the woman that brought 80%. It doesn't work like that in marriage. Unless they have prenup, unless they've already documented it, signed, should this marriage break apart, this house belongs to this person. If they don't have that, if it was not done earlier, if they had not made that clear, well, so Edochie is saying he doesn't want to lose. He cannot just leave that property. Imagine how long Edochie will have to stay away from that property, stay away from everything, stay away. Imagine how long. Their last son will have to be 18/20, 21 before Edochie can start saying, my children are grown up. They are all grown up. So I want something. My children are all grown up. I don't have to pay for their whatever anymore. They are not underage anymore. I don't have to provide accommodation. They are grown up. So Edochie is fighting for property. He said that property, we will be selling it or dividing it. Well, let us look at the age of Zane. I think Edochie will have to wait for some years. Maybe when Edochie clocks, maybe 55 or clocks, that's when it will start, or even going that range. That's when Edochie will now start thinking. So, Judy Austin, you have to wait a little bit more. That is, if you are Edochie, you are still together. You have to wait a little bit more. You have to wait a little bit more. I know people might be like, no, that house belongs to Mary because Yul Edochie did not bring it. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work that way. That is the complexity of it. But for now, Yul Edochie cannot come close to that house. Yul Edochie has no say. He has no say. And the thing is this, Mary, with the way she's going, she can afford to have something similar or more than that house. So to her, it's more or less like it's a win-win for her. That's the thing. It is Yul Edochie that is suffering from one rented apartment to one small hotel room, taking pictures. I mean, have you ever seen Yul Edochie's house? Is it that they are in the bathroom washing their teeth? You can never see Yul Edochie's house, inside of his house, or maybe a picture of one small corner. Yul Edochie will never do the videos that he normally does back then. You know the kind of video he will make. Odogu, he will make videos around his house, his kitchen, bathroom, living room, corridor, backyard, front yard. He will show you that I am the Odogu. Now, Yul Edochie has done to Odogu. He can't. So he's saying that he doesn't want to lose that property. That Mary accepts, something must give.